So I'm going to go ahead and call the meeting to order then, if everybody's good with that. Welcome committee members and members of the public to this May 14th, 2025 Governor's Workforce Development Board Executive Committee meeting. For the record, my name is Edward Estepona, Vice Chair of the Governor's Workforce Development Board, which I just got appointed, so that's new for those that have been around. That is new as of this past month. Elaine, will you please confirm we have a quorum and also verify that this has been posted properly?
Thank you, Vice Chair. Elaine Rodriguez for the record. When I call your name, please respond with present or here so I can make the proper notation. Vice Chair Estepona.
Here.
Councilman Scott Black.
Here.
Robert Benner.
Here.
Natalie Brown.
Here.
Anthony Maccabee.
Here.
And Marshall Sneed. So, again, Elaine Rodriguez, Office of Workforce Innovation. For the record, I hereby affirm that this May 15th Governor's Workforce Development Board Executive Committee meeting has reached a quorum. I further affirm that the agenda and notice for this meeting were properly posted pursuant to Nevada's open meeting law, NRS 241.020.
All right, thank you, Elaine. Before we proceed, anyone who speaks today, please identify yourself for the record. Just that's a heads up if you're new to the group, just to state your name every time you speak, so we understand where it's coming from and we can note it properly when we do the notes. So let's move on to agenda number 4, public comment. Members of the public on remote technology are invited to provide comments at this time. No action may be taken on any matters during public comments until the matter itself has been included on an agenda as an item for possible action. For anybody who would like to make a public comment, you can visit zoom.com or you can call 669-900-6833 and enter meeting ID number 869-4234-1898. And passcode is 077506. Elaine, do we have any public comments on the telephone or any public comments on Zoom?
There are none at this time.
Okay. Hearing none, we're moving to agenda item number 5. This is for discussion and information only. We've got some new members to the executive committee, and so I'd like to get you guys to introduce yourselves. I'll start first because I'm new, not new to the board, but new to the executive committee. My name is Edward Estepona. I'm with the Estepona Group. I represent the business sector, and I'm serving on my second term right now on the workforce board. Let's move to Natalie.
Well, hello, everybody. Natalie Brown, for the record, Assistant Vice Chancellor for Workforce Development and Community Colleges with the Nevada System of Higher Education, and new to the Executive Board as well as to the Workforce Board generally. And thank you so much for having me.
Welcome to the team. And Tony.
Yeah, hi, everybody. I'm Tony Maccabee, for the record. I'm with NAI Alliance. We're a commercial real estate group that's specializing mainly in properties in Northern Nevada, but we also do a little bit of work down in Vegas too. I represent the business sector, and I'm new to both the executive group here and the Workforce Development Board. Happy to be here.
Welcome, Tony. We're glad to have you. Another new member who could not make it and has been notified us that there would be an absent is Suzanne Ochin. She's currently the VP of People Operations at Renown Health and also represents the business sector. So everybody will get to meet Suzanne in the next meeting. With that, we're going to move on to agenda number 6 for possible action and approval. Wait a second here. Let me double check. Yep. So is there any discussion before I call a motion to approve the March 19th Executive Committee meeting minutes? Hearing none, can I get a motion on the floor to approve the minutes for March 19?
Rob Banner, motion.
Can I get a second, please?
Jerry Merritt, second.
Thank you, Jerry. All in favor say aye.
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 Any opposed say nay. Motion carries. Okay. Moving on to agenda number 7. See, I run a fast meeting, don't I? So if we slow down, don't blame me, blame Kara because she's next. So agenda item 7 for possible action. With us, we're going to have Kara Abe. She's the ESD program chief with Dieter, WISS. And she's going to present the state compliance policy 3.4, 5.4, 5, or 3.4, 5.1, 5.4, and 5.5. Kara, take it away. You got your mute on.
Thank you. Good afternoon. For the record, my name is Kara Abe, ESD Program Chief with Dieter's Workforce Innovation Support Service Office, also known as WIS. Today I'll be presenting 4 state compliance policies for the Executive Committee's approval. These policies are necessary for the efficient and stable operations of the workforce system in the state of Nevada. The purpose of these revisions is to update the formatting, comply with federal regulations, and reference throughout the policy. In addition, hyperlinks are added into each policy for easier accessibility to their referred documentation. Policy revisions for compliance provide a clear and concise guidance to our local workforce development boards for their local area policy development. And these policies being presented today are considered non-substantive changes and require the governor's executive committee approval before posting for publication. And with that, I will go into a brief summary of what each state compliance policy change is occurring. So I will start with 3.4, which is our cash management policy. This policy provides program requirements for cash management and addresses issues in Nevada's subgrantee and non-federal entity payment system. Our subgrantees and non-federal entities must demonstrate that they maintain procedures to support federal cash management requirements. This policy is being revised for compliance with changes that have been made to Section 2 of the Code of Federal Regulations, and to outline how federal funds are handled, ensuring they are used effectively and responsibly. Revisions include procedures for requesting, receiving, storing, and dispersing funds with the goal of safeguarding against loss or misuse. The policy also addresses internal controls, accounting practices, and reporting requirements. Moving on to State Compliancy 5.5. This policy provides guidance on the requirements and procedures for data entry in our Management Information System, or MIS, to ensure compliance with data validation requirements for submission of mandatory reports as required by the Workforce Innovation Opportunity Act, WIOA. This policy supersedes the previous Workforce Investment Act of 1998, the WIA guidance, and replaces it with current guidance as directed by WIOA. The next policy, 5.4, is for record retention. This policy provides the requirements and procedures for the retention of records relating to WIOA contract funds. The purpose of this revision updates federal regulations and references throughout the policy. And the definition section has been updated for consistency across all state compliance policies. And our last one is 5.1, the debarred and suspended contractors. This policy states how WIOA funded agencies are required to comply with the restrictions on the award for federal funds to debarred or suspended entities. The purpose of this revision is to add references to the newly updated 2 CFR section, along with updating other federal regulations and references that are made throughout the policy. In addition, an attachment has been included. It's named the certification regarding debarment, suspension, ineligibility, and voluntary exclusion of lower tiered conversion transactions. This certification is required by the regulation implementing Executive Orders 12549 and 12689 and Office of Management and Budget, or OPM, guidance outlined in Section 2 CFR Part 180. Per WIOA, funding entities that are debarred, suspended, or otherwise excluded from participation in federal programs is prohibited. And this policy applies to all WIOA Title I and Wagner-Peiser Act grant or Title III recipients and subrecipients, ensuring funds are not used for contracts or subawards with ineligible parties. And with that, I will take any questions on any of the policies presented today.
Edward, that's point for the record. Any questions for Kara from the group? And again, Kara, just to be clear, these were all just to realign back to policies that have been set either on WIOA on a federal or state level, that just to realign our everything back into order, correct? From a compliance standpoint.
Correct, Kara Abe, for the record, that is correct. A lot of our policies were still referencing old WIA terminology, and this is really to align it and bring it up to date with WIOA guidance.
Thank you. Any questions for Kara?
I don't have a question. Well, I have a question. Marshall Sneed for the record. Just for clarification, Kara, for the new members that are on the committee, can you provide clarification for substantive and non-substantive, just so that everybody's aware?
Yeah,
Voting procedure.
of course, Kara Abe for the record. So there are 2 types of changes when we do any revisions to our state compliance policies. Substantive changes are ones that are taking the current policy and not just updating it for current guidance, but changing either the policy or the procedure, the state procedure that has been written into that policy. These substantive changes do have to go before the executive committee for their approval, and then they get a second vote in front of the full Governor's Workforce Development Board. So the policies presented today, these are non-substantive changes. They're merely changes that update based off current guidance. We're not changing a process or any regulation. It's just making sure that we are compliant with what the current law is according to Department of Labor.
Edward, that's the point for record. Thank you, Kara. Any questions for Kara? Okay, hearing none. I need to call for a motion to, well, let me actually ask Greg, can I do a block approval, or do I need to approve each one of these individually?
You can do a group approval as long as the members are okay and nobody wants to pull anything out of it. You can do a bulk motion.
All right, thank you, Edward. That's the point for the record. Okay, I call for a motion to approve SCP 3.4, SCP 5.1, SCP 5.4, and SCP 5.5. Can I please get a motion?
So move, Scott Black.
Can I get a second, please?
Second, Natalie Brown.
Thank you. All in favor, say aye.
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 Any opposed, say nay. Any abstentions? Motion carries. All right, moving on to agenda number 8 for possible action. Last executive committee meeting we had, Chair Soderberg had requested that we start a new subcommittee. This subcommittee is called the Employer Engagement and Economic Development Subcommittee. The purpose of the subcommittee is for our group as the workforce board to actually figure out ways to better engage with employers in our state. Again, understanding what their needs are so that we can help better fulfill those needs and move things along for them. So within that request, since then, Chair Soderberg has appointed Ely City Council Member Dennis Pereira as chair of the subcommittee, and has named the following members who responded that were interested as the subcommittee members, and that would be myself, Edward Espona, George Galt, Ken Goodridge, Anthony Maccabee, Sarah Millett, Janelle Thomas, and Michael Yoder. Do we have any discussion before I call for a motion to approve the members of this subcommittee? Hearing none, can I get a motion then from someone on the floor to approve the members of this subcommittee?
Tony Maccabee for the record, so moved.
Thank you, Tony. Can I get a second, please?
Marshall Sneed for the record, second.
Thank you, Marshall. All in favor say aye.
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 Any opposed? Any abstentions? Please let the record reflect the motion carries. Moving on to item number 9, new business for the executive committee members and next step items for consideration of future meetings may be suggested. Is there any new business for the executive committee members that you guys would like to see or discuss in the next meeting? All right. Hearing none, I'm moving on to item number 10, which is now second public comment. Elaine, do we have any public comments on telephone,
None,
on Zoom?
none.
Thank you. All right, moving forward, I'm moving to item number 11, which is adjournment. So you guys get the rest of your time back. Look at that, 18 minutes. All right, we'll see everybody. I think the next go around, we'll see you guys. I think we may have one more executive committee meeting, and then after that, we have our full board meeting in June, correct? Yes, I think so.
June
Maybe.
18th.
June 18th. Okay. Thank you, guys. I appreciate your time and your service, and we'll see you soon.
Thank you, Vice Chair.
Bye.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.